Listen to me. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk to y'all real quick. Hold on for a minute. Let me holler at you. You know what I'm saying? Holler the Don put out a post, and it's basically showing that they wanted him to go on, I think it was like MTV, to do, pretty much like a rap, and it was supposed to be in favor of Hillary Clinton, this, that, and the third, and he decided not to do it. So Holler the Don is not speaking about the whole Charlie Clicks and DNA situation, just because he's hating and he didn't have any opportunities and nothing like that. He's pretty much letting it be known that he had the opportunity to do it in the post that he made on Instagram. Now, I do want to say this. I see the narrative that's being painted right now, and I asked the question, to a lot of different people like, yo, are you Democrat, Republican? Are you feeling like what happened with DNA and Charlie Clips? Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. Me, I'm looking at it, before I get into what I think and who I'm probably going to vote for. I feel like DNA and Charlie Clips, they've done something on a big, huge, platform. So whether or not a person agrees with their politics, they have done something for themselves to kind of boost their images and to put themselves into a different space. So some people can say that's a smart move. Some people can say that that move is not smart. It's kind of like messing your brand up, this, that, and the third. But, when I looked at a poll that I put up, and it's basically asking people whether or not the battle rap community is Democrat or Republican, a vast majority of people are actually saying that they're Democratic, you know what I mean? And so with that, I don't understand really why people are going in on DNA and Charlie Clips other than this.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf.
I'm kind of a different type of minority. You know what I'm saying? And this is my problem with the whole thing. And like I said before I start this blog off, I want to say there is no DNA slander on this channel or Charlie Clips slander. For the most part, I say nothing but positive things about these guys. So this is not really about that. What I was hearing in the freestyle or the battle that they had when they were talking about pretty much like Joe Biden is, for the black people and this, that, and the third, I heavily, strongly disagree with everything that I was hearing. First things first, I don't know if you guys know this, and I talked about it a couple times, but the crime bill, that Joe Biden was kind of behind, one of the people that enforced it, that got a lot of y'all relatives locked up in prison. He was one of the main figures behind the crime bill that ended up locking up disproportionately a lot of African-American people. I mean, he called us predators, him and Hillary Clinton, so I'm kind of just looking like, have y'all forgot what is good? Have y'all been paying attention? It ain't just that. I think it was back in 1977, he was trying to be against, busing. He didn't want Caucasians and African Americans to be going to the same school.
To hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing.
He said that he doesn't want his child, to be, involved or around, a race jungle. These are his words. And so when I go back to the battle that I heard, and I'm hearing that, Biden is for black people and helping black people and this and that and the third, it makes me kind of cringe, at the notion that, I guess people may not be remembering when Charlemagne interviewed Joe Biden, he's basically saying, if you ain't voting for me, you ain't black, and things like that. I don't know if people really remember, you know, a lot of that, or maybe even Kamala Harris having a problem with the race history, you know what I mean? Or I should say the race ideology and the ideals that Biden had. Kamala Harris had a big problem with him back when the Democratic Party was trying to like fight to be the head of the Democratic Party for the nomination so they can run for president. I don't know if people remember that, but now she's getting behind this guy. It doesn't make sense. And then, like in the rap, I'm hearing something about the HSBUs and, you know, the historic black colleges. You know, Joe Biden is promising to give like $70 billion and, you know, all that for the HSBUs. Why has none of that been done before? Listen to me. Are we blind or are we blind? Now I understand, like with the whole caffeine merger, with the URL, there's some things they may have to do. And some, you know, maybe some type of promotion and stuff, they may be asked, you know, to do. Maybe it was a situation the URL is kind of like, yo, battle rappers, y'all want to get paid? This is an opportunity. It is what it is. And they were the first people to jump on it. I don't know. You know, but for me, looking at it, I feel like people are being led astray. You know, and that's just my opinion on it. You know, and some people say, okay, well, what did Trump really do for black people? And he's like, you know, racist himself. I don't know if y'all remember. And I kind of said this before. I think it was like 2016, 2014, 2015. Trump went on a whole, like, kind of campaign, you know, against, like, the head of the KKK. You know, and talking crazy about him, like, yo, like, you know, I think this is abhorrent. Like, this is bad. Like, he should never be doing this. This is terrible. Denouncing it. I don't know if y'all remember that. I don't know if y'all remember, just to rehash like a blog that I did before. I don't know if y'all remember him working with a lot of African-American like artists and, you know, business people that wanted to become moguls. He ended up getting, you know, Russell Simmons, like, a lot of money, you know, for funding for him to start, you know, his situation. I don't know if people remember that. You know what I'm saying? And just recently, I think Ice Cube was just working with the Trump administration on something. I don't know if people, wait a minute. But what that got to do with, you know, black people and this, that, and the third, or the Black Lives? This is what the narrative is being painted. I don't know if y'all remember. But right now, you know, obviously it's a pandemic, so it's easy to forget. Before the pandemic hit, African-American unemployment has been the lowest that it's been in decades. What? In decades. I don't know if y'all remember, like, home ownership from African-American is soaring, going through the roof. People are doing well. What are we talking about? I think people are forgetting because of the whole pandemic situation and unemployment, which is affecting everybody, you know, which rose to like, you know, 13% and this, that, and the third. I think people are forgetting, you know, that, you know, everything else that happened. I remember a stimulus package going through. I remember the Democratic Party trying to stop the stimulus package from going through. That's what listen to me. I remember that. The stimulus package that he was just going to pass, I remember they were kind of trying to stop it from going through because they didn't want people to be happy that they got some sort of relief before the election time. I'm just speaking for me, you know what I mean? They saying that this is how the battle rap community is feeling. They want Joe Biden in here, but I'm kind of feeling a little bit different. I am. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if people remember, like, unemployment hit, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were laid off. You know, they were furloughed. People couldn't work, you know, so they were put on unemployment, a lot of people. And, you know, with unemployment, they were getting an extra, I think it was like $600 a month or something. So Trump made it to where people actually got paid more than what they got paid at their own jobs. And this is one of the problems to why a lot of people didn't want to go back to work, because they were making more money on unemployment than they were working. You know what I'm saying? But that was his way of trying to give people some sort of relief. You know, and I don't know. Maybe people do like being, you know, in quarantine like indefinitely or like for probably another year and something like that. I don't know. But it seems like to me, under Biden, he would want us to continue the lockdowns. He wants businesses to close. He doesn't want kids to go back to school. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want kids to be learning about, you know, the United States. I think Trump just put something up to where, you know, I think he was just in Iowa and he was just talking about it, that they passed something to where now the kids in school are now going to start learning about the history of the United States to try to be, you know, proud of our country and things like that, instead of some of the other things that's been pushed out. And I can't even say some of the things on this platform that kids are being forced to learn that shouldn't have to learn stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know, when I look at the big grand scheme of things, or when I look at, you know, Trump talked to Russia and the Afghanis, you know, I'm sorry, the Saudis, to try to make them cut production of oil, you know, 10 million barrels a day, to try to cut production so that we wouldn't get into a situation of where our gas prices will go over $5 a gallon like they were during the Bush administration. Could you imagine being on unemployment? Then the gas prices are crazy. You can't go to work. I think he kind of has something to do with that. Kind of holding off on evictions or people being put out of their homes. I think he kind of has something to do with that. Calling out China. China's putting restrictions on, you know, farmers and things like that. So he goes ahead and he puts tariffs on them. And with the money that he got from the tariffs, he tried to disperse it to all the farmers. And I know people say, oh, what does it mean? Well, who cares about the farmers? Well, if the farmers are helping, what do you think is going to happen to the price of goods? You know what I mean? Food. Prices are going to go up. You're already having a problem where you have to be on unemployment because of the pandemic. They're trying to mitigate or fix these situations. China's out here about to, you know, be like a superpower in a minute. You know, overtake the United States. Under the Obama administration, they was coming close. You know, and when Obama had his debate, a lot of things came out. In the debate that Obama had before the presidency, we found out that he had a lot of investments over there in China. I don't know. That kind of seems kind of suspicious to me. Well, China's over here buying up all the, you know, trying to buy up all the piers, all the modes of transportation and things like that. Trump stopped that. Like, no, what y'all doing? What? Y'all want to like try to overcharge us or give us a problem? No, we taxing y'all. And I hear Biden talking about, oh, well, they taxed China, so, and that didn't work, but at least they tried something instead of y'all just taking whatever they giving y'all. And Biden, you know what I mean? I'm hearing some things like your son is getting millions of dollars from the Russians, you know, and he's ended up working, you know, in a corporate. I think he got let go from the military or something like that. I think it was like a drug problem or something. But, you know, for some odd reason, he gets like a big, huge, like, job somewhere that's getting some sort of government funding. You know, and he's making like millions and millions of dollars. It's a lot. It's a lot. I don't know if y'all know about the Gazprom deal when Obama was, you know, in office. It was Russia and China. Russia and China was trying to do like a natural gas deal. It's like called the Gazprom deal. It's like a $600 billion deal over the course of, I forget how many years, to where they were going to buy like direct natural resources, you know, from each other. And they were trying to like oust the dollar. And Vladimir Putin didn't want the central bank in Russia to use the United States dollar anymore. He was trying to make everybody turn them in for rubles, to try to hurt our economy and things like that, you know, and China was kind of working in cahoots with them, and they were doing military exercises together. All this stuff was going on under the Obama administration, and I kind of remember a lot. So we were on the brink of being, you know, taken advantage of in a lot of different ways. IMF was concerned, like all these different entities was concerned. Obama and Biden wasn't concerned. They were just standing by, letting everything happen. Obama makes the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. I don't know if y'all remember it. The NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, was a bill that could give any president the power to imprison U.S. citizens in military detention forever. A new authorization to use military force supposedly aimed at restricting presidential power could expand it in a terrifying way. So basically what they were going to do is if anything happened and they felt like they needed to shut down the country or anything, they could detain you indefinitely without habeas corpus. So that means that you wouldn't even be able to fight it. You would just stay locked up. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe people are asleep on some of this stuff. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want a government to have the authority to be able to detain me indefinitely without habeas corpus, ability to try to get out of the situation. Nah, I'm good. Might want to look that one up. Bill HR 347, anti-protest bills. I don't know if y'all remember all that. There's some things I had to learn about. It's a lot of corruption, and I get it. Some people say, oh, well, the people in the African-American community, all right, PIPERBOY Williams. One's racist, one's not. They both racist. And y'all know what's crazy? After the whole George Floyd situation, Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, she goes ahead and she's wearing African apparel. And this is like some way that she's supposed to be, showing her respect. I'm sorry to inform you, Nancy Pelosi. I know we all kind of, black people, but we're not in Africa. You know what I'm saying? We don't kind of, ride around or nothing like that with that kind of apparel on. That's some kind of racist stuff to me, if you want to ask me. Kneeling, wearing something like that, that's very disrespectful and disgusting, if you ask me. Respectfully. But you know what's the difference? One has been racist for 47 years. Alleged. They're both allegedly racist. I'm not going to say they racist. Biden, you kind of show like a lot. So for 47 years, he hasn't done anything for us besides stand behind like a black president. You know what I'm saying? And this is not trying to incite and piss people off. I'm just telling you what I think. And then you got one that's brash. He kind of says what he wants, and he's kind of just, take it for what it is. This is just who I am. You know what I mean? But for the most part, his actions, y'all got to think, when you got voters and stuff like that, and the Republican Party, they've got all of these, tens of millions of people that's going to vote. You know what I mean? They've got to watch how they move. You know what I'm saying? So, you can't just say everything that you want to say, but the actions behind the person is showing that the Trump administration has been more behind African-American people than anything that Obama or Biden has done in their presidency, in his presidency, Obama's presidency and Biden's vice presidency. They haven't done anything for us. Are y'all like what's going on here? Y'all like being profiled and this, that, and the third? If, the police, the situation where them having qualified immunity, and basically with qualified immunity, police officers are immune from prosecution for violating your rights. So you could go after the precinct, you could do stuff like that, but the police officer himself cannot be sued. And that's why, with the whole, George Floyd situation, that guy, in particular is not being sued. He could be charged criminally for doing whatever he did, but losing all of his assets and stuff like that is very hard to do, and this is why civil rights attorneys have problems with that. I don't know, I think I might know a little bit about it because the Supreme Court, because a lot of our rights were being violated. The Supreme Court put into power, the qualified immunity protecting cops because so many of our rights were being violated and so many states and municipalities could be sued and liable for all of the atrocious, bad things that they were doing. Why hasn't Clinton or the Obama administration tried to do anything about qualified immunity? I don't know. But they'll sell us a song and dance all day long. We got to start waking up. Democratic Party, they kind of, they could do what they want. They could use whatever platform they want, but they have never been nothing about anything but keeping people broke and dependent and reliant on them and taking the black man out of the household. That's what they're about. And that's what one of the biggest problems that we have is, because a lot of our women don't want the black man in the house. I wonder why. I really wonder why. When you look at, you know, I think it's like a Section 8 and stuff like that. You can't have the guy in the house. You can't, you know what I mean? He should be working, getting his money, doing what he needs to do. You can't have the man in the house. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Some things y'all got to think about. Some things, you know, I got to think about. You know what I'm saying? But as far as I'm concerned right now, from what I've seen in this administration, I mean, like, besides the pandemic, which presidents don't really control that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of shady ones can control whether or not they release, you know, certain things. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But, you know, I'm hearing like Kamala Harris talking about Joe Biden's going to stop the hurricanes. What? How are you going to stop a hurricane? We're going to stop the forest fires and stuff like that, which they can, because arborists can actually do things like, you know, to kind of stop and prevent wildfires and stuff like that. I mean, it just depends on what you want to talk about. Do you want to talk about fracking, or how, you know, Biden was going to stop fracking and he was completely against fracking and he only wanted alternative energy, but then in order to win that state, now he's for fracking, and now Kamala Harris is for fracking, and she promises that he's going to, you know, not frack. Not stop fracking. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to look at different states. I know California, no disrespect to y'all, but a lot of people are moving to Nashville, Tennessee, from California or New York. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these Democratic controlled places, because the taxes are too high. But, you know, they want to increase taxes, increase payroll taxes, increase capital gains taxes, add more, you know, agencies to pay them, and, you know, this, that, and the third. And I don't know. Hillary Clinton don't even know how many houses she's got. And, you know, people like, I'm just confused. Martin Luther King wasn't a Democrat. Since when did people feel like they're obligated to vote for a Democratic Party? I know that the music industry, they kind of try to push that. You know, they push that to keep you broke. They keep you, you know, whatever. Kanye West was talking about the prison industrial complex, CCA, the private prisons, and how they've got like deals with record companies. You know what I'm saying? I used to work at a record company. I don't know. Prison industrial complex is serious. Crime bill, that was kind of serious. Kamala Harris, you know, stopping DNA evidence from coming out to exonerate people that she's prosecuted is serious. On death row cases, the vast majority of the cases that she, you know, represented, were they white people or black people? Y'all might want to do y'all, you know, due diligence. Did she really try, when she was in that position, you know, to look at the rule of law and apply, you know, her prosecution based on that? Why is it she's against the death penalty, but she's prosecuting a death penalty case, or preventing, you know, somebody who was innocent, who luckily got a chance to get DNA evidence to get off of the death penalty, you know what I'm saying, or off of death row? Why does she try to prevent that? Why does she try to stop that? Why is she doing deals behind the scenes with these Republicans if she's solely all Democratic? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stranger things that I could talk about. But as far as me and what I see and who has done anything for my people, I don't think the Democratic Party has done much of anything besides sold y'all a song and dance and had these artists like Cardi B and people like that get in y'all ear and make y'all vote. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. I would advise and advocate people to vote, but don't vote off of what a battle rapper is telling you. Vote for the issues that you believe in, the people you believe in, and where you want your country to be in the next 4 years. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would suggest. You know what I mean? You also got to think about, I think Trump is kind of, put into place. A lot of people can't really afford their medicines right now. He put into place something to where now there's kind of like an open marketplace for medications so that we don't have to be, if you get sick or hurt or something like that, pay these high costs for insulins or different type of medications. And it starts in January. So if the Biden administration wins and that goes through, they're going to say, look what we did. That all starts in January. They are trying to, make it a little bit easier on the American public. But it's all on who you believe in. You know what I mean? And right now, Trump 2020 sounds a little bit better than me. So the media and, caffeine, which y'all trying to put out there, no disrespect to y'all, but I ain't jacking it at all. I still know people that are locked up because of that crime bill. It ain't cool. Smiling on the Breakfast Club is not going to take that away. Comment down in the comment section below. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about that. Peace.